Kaceytron has settled with Ethan Klein in the copyright infringement lawsuit. We're getting that today on The Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney living in Asia, and this is the Fast Facts version, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. So as you may or may not know, Kaceytron has been involved in a lawsuit along with others regarding copyright infringement related to the Hasan Piker content nuke. And this is, of course, with, as they call him, comic book supervillain Ethan Klein here of H3H3, who is using his infinite money printer to crush poor Kaceytron, Denims, and Frogan. And he has now been successful with Kaceytron, which is a bit of a surprise because I thought it would be Frogan who settled first, given her silence, which is the smart thing to do when you're in a lawsuit. I thought that indicated that perhaps Frogan was going to settle first, but indeed it was Kaceytron. And as we're going to see, based on both what happened with Kaceytron and the way this clearly planned out statement that she read went down and what Denims has to say about Frogan's likely future settlement, I can predict why Frogan has had such a hard time with this, because it may break her up with her great love, Hasan Piker. So let's get into it and let's watch the actual Kaceytron apology. Of course, we're going to watch the version where Ethan Klein is watching that. So we, of course, get a little bit of his commentary in the beginning. But as you can see, she's sitting here. She's reading what is clearly, and you'll see based on the language, using words like adhere, using words that are legal terms, that this is clearly a legal statement that was given by the lawyers, that is agreed to by both parties as part of the settlement. So an important thing to remember is that this apology is part of the settlement. It is not just money alone. Let's listen up.
I don't want to see any negative. I don't want to see people being rude to her. I genuinely have forgiven her. I'm moving on, and it's water under the bridge. I don't want to see anybody being. I'm being dead serious. Let's not be nasty to her, guys. This is it. Okay, it's over. We won. That's it. We won, right? So let's just move on.
Which is the smart tactic to take, because he's trying to encourage the others to settle as well and get them to read similar prepared statements.
Thank her. Thank you.
For infringing
I'm being dead serious.
nuke.
Please do not.
The lawsuit was not frivolous. When I said the lawsuit was frivolous and based on misogyny, it was to garner sympathy, protect my own reputation, and retaliate against the Kleins. This lawsuit has given me a greater understanding of copyright protection, people's copyrights, and the importance of protecting copyrights in the online content creation community. It is important for the entire content creation community to respect the intellectual property rights of other creators, and I will adhere to the lessons I've learned throughout this process going forward.
I don't think she would have used the word adhere if this was not a prepared legal statement. That's just my 2 cents there. That doesn't seem like natural language to me.
I also want to make clear that I did not receive any support, financial or otherwise, from Hasan Piker.
This is the big one, and this is a massive one, because Hasan Piker had implied that he was going to assist these ladies in their lawsuits. It would make sense. He's at the cornerstone of this. So it appears once again that Hasan, per usual, deceptive, misleading, hypocritical, kind of par for the course for Mr. Piker.
Hasan never even reached out to me privately to offer words of support. Speaking honestly, I found his indifference to my suffering hurtful, especially after he hinted he might help me behind the scenes. It felt like he wanted to receive credit from the public for him helping me without providing any. As to the GoFundMe money,
which is very, very typical. He wants to farm the clout. He wants to farm the attention. He wants to get the clicks and the views. He wants to make it a political thing. He wants to make it, for some reason, about Israel, which, there's no mentions of Israel at all in the actual lawsuit itself. This is something that is very, very typical for Mr. Piker, of diverting it from anything what it could be. And he has a failure to understand the underlying copyright law and how strong of a case that Ethan Klein has, by denying that copyright even applies in the first place.
To the extent there are any remaining funds after I pay my attorney's fees, I have agreed to pay the remaining funds to the Kleins.
This is massive, and I'm going to show you guys that there are donors, including there's some famous people, including one person that's very much not going to be happy. All of those people that donated their money thinking that they hated Ethan Klein, they wanted to stop Ethan Klein, they wanted to protect Kaceytron, they now have to sit with the fact that they directly funded Ethan Klein. Not for all the money, because of course she's got to pay her lawyer's fees, but pretty much the money's going into Ethan Klein's pocket, a percentage of it. So if half of it goes, they 50% funded Ethan Klein, and they've got to sit with that now.
The funds will not go to anyone else, including Denims or Frogan, to defend their lawsuits. For the record, I have agreed to cooperate with the Kleins in their litigation against the H3 Snark mods for promoting my live stream to the.
Now, this is big because this is the thing we really want to get is discovery against those Reddit mods, against those Snark mods, because the things we're going to see in there are going to open this up wide and may even bring in other people.
Extent that I am able. I will offer my support, including testifying under oath to everything I have just stated, to help their cause. I also want to take the opportunity to acknowledge other misconduct and bad behavior I have exhibited online. For example, weaponizing the death of Asmongold's mother was inexcusable. I should know better because I have 3 disabled people that rely on me. Moving forward, I will do better. I also want to apologize to the crew of the H3 podcast, particularly AB and Olivia.
Yeah.
I apologize for calling them cowards for not quitting their jobs. That was a shameful attack on 2 people who deeply care about Palestine and Palestinian people.
It's true.
AB, along with his wife Lena, have done more than I have ever done for the Palestinian people, including raising over $100,000 in charity. Yeah. I recognize that they have actually made Palestinian lives better, and my online antagonism and trolling has not.
Yeah.
I apologize to Ethan and Gila personally. I have said extremely mean and cruel things about both of them, particularly my misogynistic attacks against Gila that never should have been said. I also want to acknowledge the pervasive problem of anti-Semitism in leftist spaces. It should concern all of us.
Thanks,
I condemn
Hasan.
it and will not participate in it. To that end, I wish the client's success in enforcing TED Entertainment's copyright and protecting the legal rights of online content creators.
Clearly a legal statement, clearly something that was cooked up by the lawyers, which once again, it doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make it necessarily evil, but it definitely makes it clear that this is what's going to be required of Frogan and or Denims if they were to ever settle. They're going to need to read a similar statement, and that is probably something that they just can't handle. But another person who's going to have trouble handling it here, you see the donations that were given to Kaceytron. You have one Anissa Jama. That's right. Anissa dropping 1,000 straight into the pocket of Ethan Klein. All of these donors now knowing, and people like Anissa, knowing their money is going right into Ethan Klein's pocket. Absolute cinema. You cannot make this stuff up. Now, I want to get into a couple other comments on this because there were a couple really good pertinent comments. One was that Asmongold rejected Kaceytron's apology, making fun of his dead mother, saying apology not accepted. You did this because of a lawyer. And there's no doubt if you actually look at the statement and you hear the statement, that is actually because of a lawyer. Because at the end of the day, they wouldn't have made such a strong statement with such strong language unless there was a lawyer involved. That's absolutely true. There also was this reaction from XQC.
Opportunity to acknowledge other misconduct and bad behavior I have exhibited online. For example, weaponizing the death of...
Yo, I don't give a how big the lawsuit is. If somebody sues me for everything I have, I'm battling into bankruptcy not to do this shit. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Somebody sues me for fucking $7 billion and is gonna bankrupt 10 generations after me. I'm not doing this shit. It's crazy.
The death of...
Here's the thing. It's very easy for XQC to talk tough and to be a big guy, big man when he does not have a lawsuit against him. When you're bared down on this and the pressure's on your family, friends, your entire fortune, like you said, 10 generations, whatever back, I'm sorry, that's different. It's so easy to talk about this. It's so easy to say that. And Kaceytron, all of them talk tough in the beginning as well, but you're not in it, bro. You don't even know what you're talking about. And this sort of attitude, having that sort of attitude, is what's going to kill Denims. Denims probably has some similar attitude to XQC of, I'm not going to do this, my ego, my pride. No, sometimes you do have to humble yourself and say, hey, I was wrong. wrong, ask for forgiveness, come to a settlement. People are wrong. I'm wrong all the time. Other people are wrong all the time. It happens. And when you do something, you say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and you try to come to a settlement. And that ends up being better than going through the full lawsuit and going and fighting it out. So to me, when I saw this statement by SQC, I thought very, very, very short-sighted and something that to me was very, very problematic. Another thing that was interesting, Asmongold vague posting that things could get worse for Kaceytron. Let's listen to this.
She doesn't know this, but this put her in a position for something that's going to happen in the future. I don't know if Ethan knows this. I think Ethan does know this, but I'm not going to say what it is because I want it to happen. I do. And I know if I say what it is, it'll lower the probability of it happening. I understand. I apologize for vague posting, but I promise you it will be worth it. Do you remember last time I was vague posting? Was that worth it? I think it was. Please have faith.
So I don't know what this is personally, right? But I have a pretty good idea. My guess on this is that this is related to a future lawsuit. Now, I know why Asmongold is probably not saying it. And I won't say the parties, and I won't say who it is. But there is probably a future lawsuit cooking. I have a very good idea. There's two possibilities here. And if that's what we're talking about, then Legal Mindset's going to be eating good this year because this is going to be a spicy meatball of a lawsuit that is coming down the pike. But I don't want to ruin things. I don't want to get ahead. I don't want to talk about things before they're fully cooked up. But I think because you've admitted culpability there and because those statements are now something that you say, hey, I am liable for that, there can be an issue. And when we turn to Denims' statement, you also see more of the future predicting, especially in the Frogan settlement and in her fighting this. So I'm going to read her statement. It's very, very small text here, so I'll read it out to you. This apology, which I can only assume was somehow forced to extract a settlement, was painful to listen to. No, that was a settlement requirement, for sure, 100%. It's absurd and ironic that Ethan accuses Hasan of being a puppeteer while LARPing as a comic book villain in this way. It's normal as part of the settlement, by the way, dear. While it is unfortunate that Ethan appears to be able to exert control over her in this way, that's just the legal system. I am happy that Kaceytron was given the opportunity to minimize the harm to her family, avoid the risk of losing her home, and move on from Ethan's lawsuit, which is, once again, all things that Denims is going to have pressure to her as well. So, is she not thinking about these things in her case? I want to make several things clear. My trial date is October 26, 2026, and I look forward to beating Ethan in court. She won't. While Casey and likely Frogan have craved to Ethan Klein, which is a decision I doubt they made lightly, so once again, she's projecting Frogan as well. Settling this like this is not an option for me. It is an option because it would set a precedent that endangers the financial security of any streamer that creates reaction content. If you create content that involves commenting on videos on Twitch or enjoy consuming reaction content, you should be on my side. If you don't believe me, please read ahead and let me convince you. No, not at all. The reason why this is distinct, and she is trying to hide the ball here, and she does it at the end, she tries to hide the ball at the end there, is that she is ignoring the fact that this was bad faith and that there are clear comments about diverting revenue. This makes it distinct from other creators that might be watching small portions of content and not making those malicious statements and not making very, very clear intent to steal revenue from Ethan Klein or divert revenue from Ethan Klein. So anyways, she comments that I watched and reacted to the highly anticipated content nuke shortly after it aired. Once again, almost no break time there, just immediately watching it. That's what we call a substitute in fair use, which is not a good thing, not good for her. Make no mistake, my coverage more than doubled Ethan's video in length. Ethan's video spanned roughly 104 minutes. I spent 230 minutes reacting to, critiquing, and commenting his video and the content in it, which I paused 10 times. That means I added 120% in the runtime and commentary, on average pausing every 30 seconds to add 36 seconds of commentary. This commentary length is more than Asmongold, XQC, or any of the other streamers or YouTubers that watched it in full. As we know, Ethan decided not to sue Asmongold, XQC, or anyone one other than the three of us. But he wouldn't sue them. They didn't intentionally try to deprive him of revenue. And you said yourself you did. The notion is frivolous and a fabrication. No, she indeed said. Ethan claims he is pursuing his claim against me only because of some of the claim malicious intent on my part. There are two statements that Ethan falsely claims demonstrate my intent, along with his conspiracy theory about collusion with Reddit mods, none of whom I've ever communicated with. Well, we're going to see that. We're very, very much going to see whether or not she actually collaborated with those Reddit mods. And I look forward to that discovery. Next, let's talk about Frogan. So she was mentioned that she will possibly be settling. And I think the reason why she is not settling is, Frogan, my Habibi, you're going to have to break up with Hasan Piker. It's going to cause a lot of friction with Hasan because that statement is going to be very, very harsh against Hasan, and it's going to drive that wedge between the two of them and making it very, very clear that Hasan Piker did not help you. He did not support you. He did not do anything for you, just like with Kaceytron. And this particular thing is going to be difficult. And if he did help you, you're going to have to disclose that. You're going to have to disclose the messages with Hasan. That's the real thing she's not wanting to do. Now, maybe she does have some messages with Hasan. Maybe there are some messages between Hasan and Frogan on how they're going to take down Ethan Klein or how they're going to divert revenue. That might be why she has to hold up. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that between Frogi Yogi here and Mr. Hamas Piker. But, in conclusion, I am very much looking forward to 2026 Denims and that trial. That is going to be a trial for the ages to see that. I'm going to be here for it, covering it on the channel. Guys, what do you think in the comments below? How do you think Denims is going to do in that lawsuit? I don't think well, but when do you think Frogan is going to settle? Do you think Frogan is going to settle? Let me know, and I'll catch you on